Mail. Mail.
Action.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 333 of Comic Book Queers. I'm your queer from LA, Evil Jeff, and your queer from New York is over there.
Hey.
Brett.
Hey, I'm the queer from New York. Hey, so Evil Jeff, why are you giving Oliver Twist right now? Like, what is up with Little Orphan Annie
I'm
mug?
sick.
You're sick?
But you know what? This podcast, I've been holed up, and this is I need to do something other than
You need
lay in
me.
bed.
You need me. You need my
Yes.
energy.
Yes. So if I cough, I apologize. But
You haven't coughed yet since we were doing pre-pro. You know, we were doing pre-pro.
I know. I'm holding it all in. I'm holding it all. I'm building all the phlegm up.
Nice.
And then hopefully I'll just spit it right into the camera.
I hope so, like a velociraptor.
A phlegm globber. Do you know what that's from? Did you put a phlegm globber?
Heather's.
Yes.
It's from Heather's.
Yeah, so let's just get through this shit, man. We have
no
a
problem.
lot of stuff to get through.
We have a lot of stuff. We have a lot
of stuff premiered. We
Right.
have a lot of superhero cartoons that are out right now.
Right.
Brett is not watching most
Any of them.
so I have to step up and talk
Yeah,
about them.
you have to step up your puss.
Yes.
We also have a lot of hot topics that I've got a lot of hot feelings about. Because I heard a few things and I was all like...
And he was all like, and then she was all like, and then they were all like, and I was all like, what?
Evil Jeff, we did not cover this in pre-pro, but it came to me after, and so I'm going to ambush you with a question.
Okay.
How are you feeling about this Buffy reboot?
I am torn because if people who have not heard, Chloe Zhao is working with Sarah Michelle Gellar to reboot Buffy and somebody else, but I forget who the other person is. And Chloe Zhao did Eternals, and I was very lukewarm on Eternals.
As was the
however,
world.
So I need to hear what I need a bit of a world building.
Okay.
Elevator
The premise.
pitch
Yeah.
for me to
What's
give
the
my
pitch?
opinion.
What's the premise?
But the idea of Sarah Michelle Gellar and not Joss Whedon,
Yeah.
I honestly kind of wanted Jane what's her name?
I don't know.
Epspin?
Susie Essman?
No, Jane Epspin is the main other writer who wrote on Angel
Oh, okay.
and Buffy. So I was kind of hoping maybe just she took over for what's the other one, the superhero one in the past?
Uh-huh.
What was that show called? The Forevers? No.
The Watchmen? Oh, the one we loved, the Nevers. The Nevers?
The Forevers. The
The Forevers. The opposite of the Forevers.
That show, Jane, she took over, she wrote on Buffy now, and she took over the show after he was kind of all right, you're problematic. I like that Joss is no longer a part of it. I like that it's going to be Sarah Michelle Gellar's world. Did you ever see, she's in Dexter right now, the Dexter
She is.
prequel.
Okay.
Which, you know me, how I hate a prequel, so
We hate a prequel.
I'm not watching that. Why did I say prequel? I was saying it like NyQuil.
Prequel for your
Anyway.
sleeping troubles.
But anyway, she was at the Dexter prequel thing at was it Comic-Con or something?
One of those.
Basically, she walked in and there was a 5-minute standing ovation and she kind of started crying.
What is this? Oh, I did see that. It was like the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah. It was just she deserves her, she deserves her flowers. And so I am excited for Buffy to be redone because I remember they redid the comic and I stopped reading it.
Yeah. The season 8 comic.
Because they kind of modernized it of what if it happened now? What would it be like with cell phones and all of that stuff and the internet? And it was good. So I feel there's definitely potential because it's going to be her. So it's not going to be a reboot of starting over. It's just going to be picking up of but that's the thing is is it going to pick up from the comics? Is it good? Because, the comics kind of continued on as like a season 8.
Yeah, right.
And I hated it.
Yeah, that's why you stopped reading it.
Is it going to pick up... like, at the end of season 7, there was like 1 million Slayers. They need to get rid of that. Because I feel like she needs to be the Giles, and there needs to be a new Slayer.
100%. That's like
so, and there
this
needs to be
has
one.
to be about
So
her
they need to
training a new...
They need to, like, reset that. Yeah.
I think a lot of this is going to be contingent on who her protege winds up being.
Yeah, and I really feel it needs to have Allison Hannigan, and I
Absolutely.
really feel
it needs to have all of them.
Needs to be dead. No, Xander. No.
Oh no, you can't have Xander.
I'm done
Xander
with
sacrificed himself in that heroic death 10 years ago.
Screen.
I mean, I'd have to imagine like you can't like the comic. You can fake time. You can be like it picks up right after season 7, but right
old.
is that what they do? But they just modernized it. Or is it 20 years have passed?
No, the original comic, they picked it up right after. And then Dawn became a giant, and like it was insane. I hated it. And then they did another reboot just a couple years ago that was like
gotcha.
modern times. That was like starting over from scratch.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So
that
aside.
one was good too. But yeah, the original one from like, I guess from the 2000s that they tried to do, I didn't like it. But here's the thing: they also need to bring back Anya.
Yep.
I want her back too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. Chloe Zhao, though, I don't know about her.
I mean, she puts a gorgeous shot together.
She does. I wasn't that big on Eternals, and I kind of was a little bored with, was it Nomadland?
Nomadland,
Best director for?
Yeah.
I wasn't. It's just not. For me, it's like, this is not the person that should be doing superhero stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agree.
Anyway, but I love that it's all women doing it, because that's how it should be for Buffy. And yeah. And sorry, Joss. I mean, I'm sure he's going to still get paid because it's like his creation.
I'm sure he'll get some residuals.
Yeah.
And I hope he chokes on them. Is that wrong?
Yeah, because I was always like, you know what? Everybody deserves a second chance. Was what he did that bad? And then when it was like he told Charisma Carpenter to have an abortion or she'd be fired. And then I'm like, all right, you know what?
It's pretty bad.
He can go fuck himself.
It's pretty bad. Not Neil Gaiman level. We've never talked about that.
Oh my
Girl.
God. Are they still releasing the new season of Sandman?
I have no idea. But Neil Gaiman is accused of
bunch of women
and sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Like,
and I heard that he's like has Scientology connections.
What? And I was all like, what? When it came to Neil Gaiman, gross. Shoot him into the sun.
I know,
but
and
keep his stories.
The right's gonna pick this up and be like, gay man.
Oh, see? Oh my God, it's always the gays. Always.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, so all of this nonsense aside, because we have something so hot to talk about.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. Girl, have you seen it?
I have, but only once. I'm sure
I've seen it
like 20 times.
So many times because I am kind of living for it. So I thought
love that it's this different. It's like it's clearly like a different universe.
It's a different world.
So it's
I want to talk
like,
about that.
It's like the 60s but modern. I am curious of like, are there no cell phones here? Like how 60s is it?
How 60s is it? Let's talk, but let's first watch.
Yes.
All right. Do you mind if I pause it to point stuff out, or do you want to watch it clean through?
No. Pause.
Okay, great.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every...
So, really reminds me of Avengers Tower. Like, I feel like this is a world where they are essentially the Avengers. They are the only kind of
Reed Richards
superhero.
is the Tony Stark.
Yeah, and they're kind of the only superhero game in town, it kind of feels like. I want to comment on this moment we're paused on, but...
Is this before or after they've gotten their powers?
Right now?
Yeah.
This is after. I think what I love about this is it's clearly not an origin story. They already have their powers, and I'll point out a scene that kind of verifies that.
Okay.
Also, let's keep going.
every week. Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
So this feels like, if this is indeed the 60s, this to me feels like they're doing a piece for a magazine. This feels like they've got like Vanity Fair, Home and Garden, whatever, Life. Let's go with Life magazine, considering the time period. And it really feels like they are kind of putting on a show. Like they're not being fake, but they are performing, if that makes sense.
This is all PR.
This is all PR. Thank you. Notice the aspect ratio changes. Again, Avengers Tower.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming?
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
All right. Let's talk about Ben
reference?
Grimm. I think this is a Bear reference, which is amazing because that's Cousin from The Bear. I was so pleasantly surprised by his voice. I love that we're not doing a craggly, I'm the Thing, because to me it emphasizes that there's just this guy in there. It's really just this normal dude who still sounds the same. I kind of like that. It makes the transformation hit harder.
Would you, with that voice and that beefy chest, would you have sex with the Thing?
Oh, honey, I would have had sex with the Michael Chiklis thing.
Okay.
Let alone, yes, I would.
I'd do something with Michael Chiklis' Thing any day. Okay.
Hey, I'll turn it into rock. Hey, I also love the sound that he makes when he claps his hands. I think that's really fun. Audio design. I also really thought we were going to hear Natasha Lyonne's voice come out of this robot. I was convinced that Natasha Lyonne, who has been cast in this movie, was going to voice Herbie. So I don't know if I'm wrong or if they're just not giving it away yet.
Okay.
But that's Herbie.
T-5.
Before we went up the first time.
So before we went up the first time.
Yeah, so this is another time they're going up, and that origin story thing looks like found footage. So yeah, it looks like they're already going to have their powers when this starts.
Yeah, and he says, like, last time, well, here we go.
You couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock.
That line kind of makes me cry.
Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here.
Her powers. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the light refraction.
I will also say that it looks like they're hinting at her full, like, force field type of potential. How many other did the other Fantastic Fours? How did they address her powers? Because I feel like Jessica Alba one did she have force field powers, or was she just invisible?
Don't you remember when Dr. Doom was like,
all of it? I blocked so much of it.
It's like my favorite moment from the movie where Dr. Doom is like, "Oh, Sue, let's not fight," and she goes, "No, let's." Oh, and like she's like, "Oh," and then this like wave of force comes out of her.
Comes off of her tits. And
But I also love.
Wait, can I just pause really quick? Have you ever seen? Did you ever watch the Venture Brothers?
No, but I do know they have a Fantastic Four.
They have a Fantastic Four, and Mr. Fantastic is voiced by Stephen Colbert. Like kind of like it's like when Strangers with Candy was on, so it's like before he was even
my God
on the Daily Show or anything. It was him, but the Sue Storm, it was just her outer skin disappeared. So you would just see like muscles and
like
organs.
like that one.
And then Johnny was just continuously on fire, so he was just screaming in pain the entire time. And then the Thing, sadly, was like mentally challenged.
Jesus Christ. Here, the way she looks at the camera, I don't know. It kind of feels to me like this again is part of the PR. Like she's kind of show like, this is how we do it, magazine. I don't know.
Have you watched the Rockstar's Easter egg on this yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious if you were pulling anything from
what
them.
he pulled, yeah.
Oh,
no.
another thing. I was watching a TikTok and someone was like, this Fantastic Four, like, when did we stop having hot actors be in movies? And then I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were just like talking about like Chris Evans to like, they were saying how the guy from Stranger Things and the guy from The Bear and Pedro Pascal are not hot.
Okay.
And I'm
like, attracted
girl,
to
catch
everyone
up.
in this movie.
I know, exactly. I think they're all super hot.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Whatever life throws at us.
Johnny up in like space. I love this shot.
I mean, wouldn't you get that high up?
We'll see.
All right.
We'll face it together.
I think those kids are the Yangtze Street gang.
What's
Those,
that?
It's really part of Thing lore. Like, there's this gang of youths on the street where the Thing lives, Yancey Street, and they're always just like, they're kind of obsessed with the Thing. They're kind of like bullies. They've been portrayed as like supporters of the Thing, a gang that the Thing always fights. But
Now,
I'm pretty
okay,
convinced
I have a
that's who this
question.
is. Mm-hmm.
Looking at this, these 60s cartoons, they have those old school Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
That's just a mask and a shirt with an image of the person you're supposed to be.
No, like Dracula.
These are from the 60s and 70s. Did you ever have one of those Halloween costumes? Because we're old.
100% I did.
What was it? Because I
It
had
was-
superhero one that I went when I was 4 years old.
Oh, I had a super villain.
Oh, you went as a supervillain? Who did you go as?
The purple pie man from Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh my god!
And his face
that's
was on
amazing.
his plastic apron. His fake plastic apron.
was Plastic Man.
Oh my god.
From DC. Is that
Wow.
hilarious?
Kinda, yes. 1960s, this architecture, these cars, these futuristic 19. So this is definitely like a tech forward 1960s.
Yes.
Which all of this must be a lot, or not all of it, but a lot of it must be from Reed Richards himself.
Yeah. All right, let's keep watching.
Wait, John Malkovich, what?
Was he Gandalf? Who the fuck was he in that? He
I
looks
think
like a
John
wizard.
Malkovich. I think he's either going to be an old Reed, like the whole like Council of Reeds, like a Nathaniel Richards, something like that, or, although I think that's Kang, or is he the Fantastic Four villain, the Red Ghost, master of the super apes? I'm kind of hoping for that.
Where is Doom showing up in this too, or is that a
We don't
related
know.
One?
We don't know.
Okay.
But Galactus is showing up.
Yeah.
As a family.
Bigger than I thought.
Yeah, we'll see. Look at them. That score. July 25th, bitches.
Yeah, this just looks so much better than any of the other Fantastic Fours.
And it looks
It just
so
has
much
a
more.
style. It
yeah.
just it looks so much more. There's like an intention behind it.
There's intention
the other
behind
ones
it.
just seemed like they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what.
Yeah, they didn't.
Also,
there's
Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba.
Right.
No.
Right. And of course, if you go on X.com, it's like, she's no Jessica Alba. I'm like, what? What world is this? What?
It's fun. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for it.
I'm super excited for it. Here's why I'm excited. The Fantastic Four are clearly not from the MCU 616. They're from a much more kind of brighter and like promising world. Like, look how technologically advanced they are in the 60s. So I think they're going to come, like, that world could be destroyed or
By Galactus, and then they travel to 616.
I think the whole thing with the Fantastic Four, it's going to be a little like Captain America. They're going to be a little fish out of water, and they come from a world where things were just a lot better, and they're going to come here and be like, this is awful.
Do you think they come here? Wait, do you think this whole thing, they come here like second act, or you think it's end of movie they come here?
Oh, end of movie. I think we're going to get I think
okay.
we're going to get like a fantastic, steeped in the 1960s Marvel Comics Fantastic Four movie that is not connected to the MCU stuff at all. Until like maybe there's incursions or things like that, but I think this will be wholly divorced of all the other characters from the MCU until the end, and they'll wind up here and be like, this place is awful. And I think the reason I love that is because then the Fantastic Four is going to brighten up the MCU, both within the context of their reality, metaphorically, fictionally, but also in our lives. They're going to be the ones that represent hope again and goodness again, and the light.
Well, it is interesting that there is the new generation of the MCU is going to be the Fantastic Four, the Young Avengers, and the X-Men. And I think that is very exciting to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Did you hear about the
There's X-Men news. Oh, yeah. I've heard
Schaefer
one.
Playing Mystique. That's perfect.
It's so perfect.
I love it.
It's so, and the way she showed up on Drag Race last night, was incredible.
Yeah, because we need trans representation more than fucking ever.
She's the cutest. I've never seen Hunter Schafer like the person, just the characters. She is the cutest fucking thing. She's so sunny and funny. Obsessed. Did you hear who is being rumored for Cyclops?
Oh, remind me who. I feel like I have heard this, but I can't remember.
Brenton Thwaites, Nightwing from Titans.
I mean, girl.
AKA the hottest man on the planet.
And bisexual.
And bisexual.
I tell you this, that one interview where they're like, what's your perfect, like, girl? Or no, it was like, what's your perfect date? And he's like, with a girl or a guy? And I was like, I'm going to beat off
my world
just
stopped.
to this part right now.
Yeah.
So hot.
So hot. Also, if you think Brenton Thwaites is hot, check him out in a movie from 2014 called Son of a Gun that I just stumbled upon with Ewan McGregor. I mean, he's
so beautiful.
I love him.
And I usually don't like white guys, but
I know, but he's Australian.
Gorgeous. Yeah, that helps.
That helps. Any other hot topics? I think that's it.
So are we watching stuff?
We sure are, but I wonder what.
What you watching? Is it me naked? No? Oh, fine.
What am I watching?
Oh, would you stop? I've established a while ago that this show, Invincible, it's too violent for me.
But you watch The Boys. The Boys is more violent than Invincible.
But when The Boys does it, it's cute.
Whatever. Anyway, this season, it's a little less violent right now. I mean,
okay.
I'm sure. Well, no, that's not true. There was a really violent part. But basically, Mark is invincible. His dad turned out the dad is evil. The dad escapes, goes to another planet, has another son, and basically gives the son to him, and he gives it to his ex-wife that he left, and being like, oh, can you raise my son from another planet? And basically, this season is going through the son. This son is, because it's like a bug alien race, he's growing up very fast. So he looks human, but he has purple skin. But he's growing up because of the bug DNA. He's like growing up super fast. So even though he's not even a year old, he's already like a 12-year-old.
Does he have the mind of a year-old or a 12-year-old?
No, he's
maturing. Like his brain is maturing with his body.
His brain is maturing, but he is like, I got my powers, so I'm going to start being a superhero. And they're like, no. And he's like, I'm going to be a superhero. And they're like, no. And he basically doesn't listen, is going off. They're like, okay, I'll train you, but you can't do this. And he doesn't listen. And he starts killing the bad guys. They're like, you can't kill the bad guys.
Yeah.
And he just starts straight up killing them. And he's like, why? And then they're like, you're acting like your dad. And he's like, I love my dad. And then they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about this show is it's the only show I've ever seen that is the closest to just replicating what the comic is. It is following the comic plots.
You know, I respect that.
There's a few characters that they've kept. The only things that they've changed is there's a few characters they've kept alive, which I actually think help. So they've actually, there's some, because there were some gruesome deaths that they didn't do. Or they kind of showed, you thought it was the death, but then they ended up surviving. Ooh. So some of the characters are still there. But it's just, and I think it's because of the person really behind this is Seth Rogen, who's one of the main voices of one of the characters. And I think Seth Rogen probably was like, you just need to do the comic. Just do the comic.
Yes.
And we're done. And,
easy
and
peasy.
I'm just... So there is a certain joy of like watching this wonderful comic I read. It's like, can you imagine if someone was like, I'm just going to make a cartoon of the Outback era of the X-Men. Just like...
Yeah, and we're going to do it shot for shot.
I'm going to do it shot for shot. Like, it's... So for someone that's read Invincible, you're going to love it. Clearly, Brett, it's too much for his fragile little soul.
I'm fragile. I am fragile,
but I'm
and
not
I'm okay
really
with
big
that.
into violence, but I guess I'm just used to it from reading the comic. But it's just so good. I think it really delves deep into the quandaries. Like he's now like having to tackle the idea of, he's like, I'm a superhero, so we don't kill. But then it's like this person started trying to murder his mom, and then he had to kill him. And then he's like, oh, I had to kill him. And they're like, it's self-defense. And he's like, but I don't want to kill anybody. And so there's like a lot of those like X-Force type of...
Yeah.
Like, there's times where we're going to have to kill, and he's trying to be the bigger person, but the government that's kind of helping him out is like, no, sometimes you have to kill the bad guys. And he's like, no. And it's like him growing up and realizing that.
I think the only way to really make that interesting is if you have a character that never breaks that rule.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. I think you have to do it in self-defense. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
I think the problem is he's so powerful. He has to try as hard as he can to not kill things.
Yes.
So if he just gets a little bit irked, the punch will just murder somebody. So I think that's the thing that's like... So I just feel it's something that Superman never really goes into.
Yeah.
You know, like having that much strength and how easy it is to murder.
Yeah.
Superman's a little too good.
Punchy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's great, Phone.
Okay. Now we're good.
All right.
Great.
What's next?
Oh my God. What's next is something I really, really, really want to talk about with you. Severance episode, what are we, 3?
Yeah.
4? I think it's 4. Yeah.
4.
3 or 4. Shit. Anyway.
Yeah, 4.
It's 4. Because here's what so this episode was incredible. I've got one problem.
Yeah.
It's my impatience. I'm starting to get impatient with this show getting weirder and more esoteric. I'm starting to be like, don't lost me. Like, give me a fucking answer. Give me an answer. I feel
it's giving you, but it is giving you answers. Like,
is
spoilers
it though?
Here. It revealed that she wasn't she's the outie and not the innie.
Here's the thing. We knew that. I knew that. We all knew that from episode 1. We all knew it.
Yeah, but part of me was like, oh, are they going to wait for this reveal at the end? No, it did it like...
I'm talking about the shit that's like, what is that? Like the stuff that's been lingering for a long time. I don't know.
This show is Apple's hugest hit. They're gonna milk. This is gonna be going on for.
Oh, they're gonna milk it. They're gonna milk it.
They're not gonna answer everything.
They're not. So what happens in this episode is they wake up. The innies wake up. Our Fabulous Four, and one of them is they're in the middle of a snowy forest. It's freezing. It's dangerous. When Irv wakes up, John Turturro, he's standing on top of a frozen lake. Dylan comes out of the woods, doesn't know what's going on. Helly comes out of the woods, doesn't know what's going on. Mark is already standing atop a cliff, being like, guys, come up here. I found a cliff. And you're like, oh, Mark just kind of clicked right in. Right, he's okay. So I want to talk about that. And I'm like, and I turned to my husband, I'm like, watch this be a team building exercise. And it was a team building exercise.
I guess I don't think they were really outside. And I
Why?
have theories towards the end. If we want to talk about other things.
Okay. Well, so what happens is basically they see Milchek, their boss, on a TV at first, like one of those hand-carted push-in VCR TVs, and he's instructing them. He's telling them about Keir Egan's long-lost twin, Dieter, and how this is where Keir and Dieter happened upon the Tempers, some shit, this forest. So go, explore the forest. That's your team-building exercise.
But then they're seeing these doppelgangers of them pointing through them.
These twins, like in honor of Keir having a twin Dieter.
What are those?
I think there were other people. I don't think it was them. I think it was people who looked like them, although we have been saying the show is going to dip into cloning.
Or is it clones?
Right.
Or is it holograms?
I actually don't... What?
That's why I'm thinking it could be inside, and it's more of a... Like, there's not really a sky. It's kind... Because we saw that, like, when they went into that goat place with all the goat herders, they have these huge, vast areas that are, like, environments.
Yeah, but... Like Dylan did comment like, "Wow, there's no ceiling on the outside," like because he's never been outside. But
Yeah,
they
they
also
don't know
were
what it really
freezing.
looks
Like Irv almost like that was real snow. Like Irv almost died sleeping, being exposed to the elements.
I'll give my last theory of. I'll give my last theory of it. When we get further into the episode.
Okay. So there's so many weird things to talk about. Like first they have to find a campsite, right? Is that correct? Or they stumble upon
All that stuff. Who cares? Because it's like all the lore. It's all like gobbledygook to me.
But also the thing that's interesting is, for example, when Milchek takes them to the waterfall. That's part of the lore of Egan.
Oh, and then he's like,
Keir.
"This is the largest."
He's like, "This is the world's
waterfall in the
tallest
world."
waterfall," and they're like, "Okay," and you're like, "No, it's not."
I know.
Like, no, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Speaking of Milchek, though, I put a picture of him in this outfit because can I just say, this man has never turned in a bad look.
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost. He's giving Emma Frost in his all-white White Queen. But even like his motorcycle jacket, like what he wears to work, like he's a well put together fine man.
I hate his character because he's evil, but I would have sex with him in a hot second.
In a hot second.
Very attractive.
He's very
attractive.
Very attractive.
They get to this campsite. And then he's telling the story about the gaunt bride and his twin. And there's all this stuff about jizzing on the, like, leaving your seed on the ground and jizzing on stuff.
The twin, like Keir, like watching the twin
and then pops
leave
his
seed,
eyeballs out and
then pops his...
him.
You know what? I think there was never a twin. I think if there was any sort of lore, I think the twin is made up because Keir was just ashamed that he jerked off in the woods. And he was like, that evil thing. It wasn't me. It was it was my twin.
And it's him setting up the idea of being severed, of separating out the two.
Yeah, or Dieter is like the real Keir, and Keir is the inning. Something.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, Helly laughs.
Helly is so defiant, but not in Helly's usual way.
But here's the interesting thing. Is we find out at the end that Helly it's Helena. It's
Helena Egan, yeah.
So everything that she does, it's like she's laughing. It shows you because of she has a bad relationship with her dad. You can tell.
Yes.
And then you're like, and then when she has sex with Mark, she admits to him, I don't want to tell you what I'm going is, but I don't like who I was out there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think that was her. That's not a plan. I think she meant that.
Oh, I agree. I think the laughter was genuine. I think she's in the middle of this now and she's like, this is the experiment? This is so fucking weird.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's happening is when she saw her innie kissing Mark, I don't think she's ever been in love.
She's never been in love.
And I think she was like, fuck. I need to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
So
curious
she's
about
a
this other
very
her.
interesting character.
And
But
she's
then
still a
she-
liar, though. I mean, she's still
Well, of course.
like the
she's
way
in
she's
too deep.
manipulating conversations was kind of genius. The way she would deflect every time Irv accused her or dug into like, tell us more about this night gardener. She would so masterfully deflect. Like, I want to be like as only an abused daughter could, you know, like she's so able to get a guy off of her ass without making anyone else notice.
Yeah. And then the other thing that's interesting is these innies have never slept before.
They've never slept before.
So they've never dreamt.
Right.
And an innie dream is some weird fucking shit.
Some weird fucking shit. It feels like some outy shit is leaking into the innie dream.
Exactly. Which is probably why they never want them to sleep, because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of opens some things up for Irv, and that's where he shows up and is like, fucking no, you're the
Well,
outie.
his weird dream, some things happened, one on his
He sees
monitor.
that gaunt bride person.
Well, he sees Woe, who's one of the like representative of one of the four tempers, but on the screen, I did notice the numbers were all 1, 4, 5, and 7. And if you take those numbers, like the fifth letter of the alphabet is E. The first letter is A. The fifth letter is E. Basically, those numbers spell out Egan, because it's the first letter of the alphabet, the fifth letter, the fourth letter, the seventh letter, and the 14th letter, which is N, and that spells out Egan. And her face is the code forms her face.
Yeah.
Briefly. So I wonder if it's a case of Irv knowing who Helena Egan is. Outie Irv knows who Helena Egan is because she's a public figure.
She's a public figure, so they all know. Yeah.
So I wonder, like, was his outie brain being like, that's fucking Helena Egan? Like, it was between Innie Irv's natural intuition and intelligence and outie Irv's leaked experience into Innie Irv's subconscious that got him to the conclusion that this is Helena Egan.
And he
And
basically
he
is like,
calls
I'm going to kill her.
her out.
He's like, and he attacks her, and he's like, I'm going to kill her and drown her unless you bring Helly back. The
Right.
Innie. And this is the one thing that Milchek says to like turn off. He basically says to turn off the something protocol.
The something block. Yeah.
He says turn off the block.
Yeah.
If they were outside, why is there a block on her?
Right. Weird. Right.
If they're in the severed levels, then she would need a block so she could be her outie self there. So that is why I'm thinking that
Got
it
you.
wasn't
So it's
real.
like the block is blocking out the effects of being inside.
Yes. So that wording was, and I could be just completely off, but that wording seemed intentional to the like.
Interesting.
Because it seemed like she's the only one
Who's like
really
impervious to like the Innie rays that they're being bombarded with.
Yeah. Like, she's the only one that they need to turn it off for, when if they're outside, all of them are having the thing turn. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this could
it's
very well be
it's-
Lumen. I mean, this obviously is Lumen property or
Yeah,
Egan
or maybe
property.
there's like a lumen area that has the whole severed.
I don't think you need to be
wavelength on it.
like, and also I don't even think you need to be inside. Like maybe the controls to everything are just in your brain, and somebody has a remote control, kind of like being in the outside world when they were innies. Like I don't think you know what I mean. Like they
had
obviously
when you look,
we saw the switch happen in Mark's
but
house.
when they did the switch. But what's his nuts? What's the guy with the glasses? What's his name?
Dylan.
Dylan was in that main room in the first season, looking at all the switches and I watched in a TikTok one of the switches, not the ones that they used, but there was another switch that was the thing that he said, like in this episode where he's like turn
Hang in
that
there.
block off. So
turn that. Okay.
What was the protocol? Whatever protocol.
It's like it was something with a G. I can't remember the word.
Anyway, that was in the first episode.
Got
we're
it.
really good explaining all of this.
Yeah, we're
this
great.
Show's complicated. But
Also,
anyway,
about things important said, when Irv exposes Helena in a very violent way. knowing that that's going to get him killed, essentially, knowing that they're going to permanently get rid of Innie Irv and make him like he will live his life as Audi Irv for the rest of his life. He looks at Dylan, who's still up on the cliff looking down. Dylan is like, I should have listened to you. And he goes, don't worry, hang in there, which is what was on. There was some poster or drawing or something that depicted Dylan holding the switches at the end of season 1, and it said hang in there. So I think hang in there was code from Irv to Dylan to like fuck with that switch again so I come back. Hang in there was also very intentional.
Yeah.
But then, holy shit, it works. Helena yells to Milchick, do it, Seth. And then fucking Irv goes, yeah, do it, Seth. Like the stank he put on Seth's name. Oh my God. Because it's like, I feel in this moment, Audi Irv is who we're like, this is the personality of Audi Irv. Like Audi Irv is tough. He's crass. Like he's like he dresses like so cool. He's a cool guy. Innie Irv is not cool. For Innie Irv to be like, yeah, do it, Seth. Like that was so Audi Irv to me.
Yeah.
Which just makes you think like, I don't think Severed is like creating like a new brain inside of you. I think Severed is really compartmentalizing more dormant aspects of your personality.
Yeah, yeah.
But and so seeing Innies kind of turn into Audis without the switch even being flipped, just because that's who they are, is interesting.
But then poor Mark now knows that he fucked the Audi.
Okay, but can we talk about Mark for a second? Because am I crazy? Did he not get reintegrated at the end of last episode? And are we not addressing this?
How fully integrated do you think he is?
Well, clearly something's happening because he saw Helly morph into Gemma for a second when they were making out. That's what I mean.
Is he still in the beginning stages where he doesn't know? Or is he fully integrated? So that would mean because he watches the news, he would know who she is.
Like, are there beginning stages? I just thought, like,
I don't
you're
know.
integrated.
That's what I'm saying is, I don't know.
Yeah. So I was a little annoyed that it was like, you're not going to address whether or not Mark is...
It'll be the next episode they'll address.
But like, my husband's convinced that we were watching a reintegrated Mark that whole time, and that Mark was acting differently.
It could be. That could be. Ugh. Anyway, this is a great show. I love it.
Oh my God, it's a great show. Do we have another one? Oh, Drag Race.
We do. Drag her.
Drag her. It was the
Drag her.
What was the name of the ball?
The Sea Sickening Ball.
The Sea Sickening Ball.
They had to do 3 looks, and the last look they have to make from like oceanic recycled objects.
Yes.
The second look is all like different sea creatures, and
the first was Bathing Beauty.
And then Bathing Beauty. I think these had really great outfits. I think there was a lot.
Some really great looks.
I even think the person who did it the worst was Lana Jarre.
I agree. Like, especially with that third look.
I think even Acacia Forgot, it wasn't.
Well, she was safe.
Oh. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. And even like Hormona Lisa, they were like not bad. They were just
the same shit.
Boring. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think that's pretty impressive with that many looks.
Yeah.
That no one really was turning out turds.
Yeah. Yes.
There was no bag dress like from La La Ree. There was none of
that.
God. Instead, we had this bag dress, which we have.
Which was kind of sickening.
With Sam Starr, I think this is amazing.
Yeah. The only thing that held me back is I wish the sash was a little more intentional, and I wish that the purse was like the handbag was more creative.
Yes, I think for that reason, I think Arietti, her look, I think was the best because that looked like she brought it.
Absolutely. And that second look, the sea creature.
The sea creature look, that was the best look of this entire season.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this, after that last episode, I'm not into Arietti.
No, far from it, actually.
I think she's a mean girl, so I'm not digging her, but I gotta give the props where props are due.
Oh, the skill is there.
She has skills,
but she's awful.
Like makeup skills that are crazy.
Yeah.
The other outfit that I kind of liked was Lexi Love's big hair tarp.
I loved that wig. I loved that wig, but
like she styled it so perfectly. That it worked for me.
And she was stunned that she. And I know you haven't seen the whole thing.
I haven't watched the whole thing through because I'm waiting for Joe to watch it with me. But because I work on the show,
So Lexi was safe.
I've seen like 80% of it.
Lexi was safe, and she was shocked because she really thought this was her category.
Wait, was she in the bottom 3? No.
No, she just was safe.
In the bottom 3. Yeah, she was just.
She was in the middle.
Yeah. No, because it was Acacia, Hormona, and Lana.
Acacia, Hormona, and Lana.
Yeah. But there was Spray Paint Gate.
Spray Paint Gate so she was wearing tarp.
She's doing tarp. She has them all set up. And I'll tell you this. If I walked out there and saw a bunch of blue tarps,
I absolutely would have sprayed on it.
I would have thought that was set up for me to put clothes down to spray paint on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would not think the tarp was the outfit. So, I do feel she should have been like, hey, everybody. This is not tarp being laid out for the outfit. The one thing that people are calling out is that the producers are super shady, that they did not stop Anya Nerve from spray painting.
Yep. No, if I was a producer, I'd be like, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Exactly. And I know people are like, that's so wrong. And I'm like, sorry, girl. That's TV, baby. That's TV. And poor Anya. I also kind of feel bad for Anya because when she came out at 100, if I was Anya, I would have been like, hey, let me go look at it. Come with me, and pull her aside immediately.
Yes.
But Anya,
that's a good call.
Anya let her spin out of control and didn't say anything until like later. And I was like, you waited. I agree. She waited too long.
Yeah.
But I
and
think
like
but I think she saw Lexi being crazy.
Right. Like I appreciate. Like what I love about Anya is like Anya will do this on her terms at her pace. I mean, like that's even true for her runway looks. Like she will go at her pace. And I think that is true for a lot of aspects in his life. And it was true here because Anya chose to just not react in this moment, but just wait for the temperature to go down. I have no doubt Anya was going to say, I'm sorry, it was me.
Well,
but when the temperature went down.
Like, she knows there's fucking cameras, so like she can't like hide it.
That's true. Exactly. But
here's the other thing is Lexi, this is called karma. Because she came after Hormona for putting some stones on her dress.
Right.
And did you hear how Susie Toot also had stones on her dress? And then she spray painted over them when she saw what she did to Hormona so that Lexi wouldn't see.
Oh my God.
She admitted that on a Roscoe's.
Oh my God.
Her thing on Roscoe's last week.
That's so funny. Susie just wants the respect of the quote unquote fashionati, the fashion queens.
I was not into Susie's look.
No, not at all.
The Amelia Earhart thing.
Not at all. And I got to say, like Susie, who I think is my favorite to win so far, sometimes the bitch gets under my skin a little bit.
I feel there's a Ms. Cracker element. I think people are comparing her to Jinx, and I think it's more like Ms. Cracker. She's super talented, but I do think there's a little bit of a block of a charm that's like a spark that's not fully developed yet.
That's a great way of putting it. It's not refined and honed just yet.
Yes, but I think she's amazingly talented. But right now, my top two are I still think Lexi's crazy, but she's giving me Alyssa Edwards energy. I think she's a fierce queen, and Anya Nerve. I think Lexi and Anya
100%
have the potential. They have what for me, because I literally, if people were like, how do you, I literally gauge it on cunt, charisma, uniqueness, talent.
And it's Anya.
And I think Lexi has that too. And that a lot of people, and that's why I don't think Susie has the full charisma yet.
Agree. Totally agree.
And same thing with like, I think Sam Starr is super talented, but there's definitely like a wall.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
The,
And I think that's
there's a
where
lack
her
of
drag
you,
mom-
and the T is questionable.
Her drag mom is Trinity the Tuck.
Right.
And her original season, she was a pageant queen, but she came out of the gates crazy funny and nuts.
Yeah, no
And
one knew
that
how funny, right.
That charisma was there from day one.
Because Trinity does not take herself seriously. Sam Starr does. And I think there's the difference.
I think that's the other problem is Arietti, Sam Starr, and Jules Sparkle.
They
they're-
take themselves so
and Lexi
seriously.
Love is a little bit too much. They're taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
For them, they're in the Olympics and they're going to be murdered if they go home.
Yeah.
Like, so they need to have fun with it.
Yeah. Let go.
It's just drag. It's just drag.
It's just drag.
All right, what else we got?
It's just freaky people in costumes. That's it for TV. But that's not it.
Are we going to talk about some comics?
Let's talk about some X-Men and some Avengers in our X-Men segment. And we'll talk about why that's okay. Here we go.
It's mutants with powers, Omega for hours. Bitch, let's read some X-Men.
Okay.
I want to X you up, Brett.
I want to X you up, bitch. May I just say before we get started, so I promised my niece and nephew a PowerPoint presentation of who the equivalents are between the X-Men and My Hero Academia. And I'm about 12 slides in, and I'm coming up with some genius connections. I actually think this might be our TikTok series. I think we should turn My Beautiful Thinking into some sort of presentation on short form video, and I think we will finally be stars.
Okay. Are you going to talk about it on this podcast?
No, I'm not. I just wanted to say
I wouldn't be down.
It's coming around the corner.
With that as well. I'd want to see that. I want you to go over that with me.
We'll do it. I'll do it as a segment on the show.
I need to watch more of it. I know I need to get back into My Hero Academia.
Because it's the thing of like you got to get through this. Like they have to grow up. They have to grow up.
Yeah, and for me, the fact that it's one of Megan Thee Stallion's favorite shows is. Did we watch the Grammys before we started? Did you watch the Grammys?
I don't fucking care about the Grammys. I never have.
But Chaperone.
I love Chapel.
Chaperone is great. Dochi though. Dochi's my new favorite.
Dochi. Now Dochi. Now Dochi I will talk about.
Did you watch the Dochi performance from the Grammys?
Yes.
It's so good. I love her.
It's sick.
All of
I
the
love
songs
her.
she's released. I mean,
Everything.
She was. The one from Drag Race was amazing.
Alter Ego.
All of these. Did you see the music video that she had, where it's all like a Family Matters, like Friday TGIF?
She's hilarious.
Kind of like Too Many Cooks, almost.
Oh my god! Did you see her video? Her TikTok from 2020 that was like, "I just got fired. Fuck it. I'm gonna try to be a pop star. Like I'm gonna go for it."
Yeah, it's great.
Girl.
I love her. But I was thinking that the reason that brought me up to that is Megan Thee Stallion loves My Hero Academia, loves anime. Recently just did that Star Okane Bachanu. Like she has her one, like she literally has Japanese rappers in her songs.
Yeah.
Dochi just an interview and she's like, I hate anime.
Oh.
So Dochi is the enemy of anime. She doesn't listen to anime. So I was like, oh no, Dochi.
Oh no, Dochi. Well, speaking of the enemy.
Yes.
Wolverine was okay. All right, so Wolverine number 6. It's Phoenix that I thought was next. Ooh. All right, Wolverine, although it wasn't that bad. All right, Wolverine number 6, it's like the enemy is the original metal that I guess adamantium is based on in the Earth.
What is it?
Adamantine. It's like sentient. It's like fucking with them.
Okay, so it's all like is this the person who's behind it, the reveal at the end? Or is that just another player in it?
Who's the reveal again?
Romulus.
Oh, fucking Romulus. Because Romulus is ancient, so I'm sure Romulus knows what this is, but isn't responsible for it.
I guess Romulus does have adamantium, but that's the thing is he has adamantium in him too.
Yeah.
I think he had adamantium put in his talons or whatever at some point.
Yeah.
But then it's like, is he also controlled by this thing or is he the one behind it?
Right.
But for me, you're going to have an end page reveal be Romulus.
I knew it too.
who gives a fuck about Romulus?
Like on the penultimate page, I was like, is this going to be fucking Romulus? And there you go.
Who cares? Like, no,
I hated
that's
him
not a...
Then.
No.
No, but I did
So-
like Laura Kinney showing up. And
Yeah,
I did
but
like
hate
the
Nightcrawler
reminder.
leaving.
I did like the reminder that she was resurrected. Like Proteus did a little magic to resurrect her coated in adamantium. So she has adamantium now too.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Well, I think they always, when they were... Because Wolverine, whenever they got resurrected, they put the adamantium on.
Yeah, but Laura never had it before.
She never had it before?
Yeah, Laura never had adamantium until
Was
they
that-
decided to...
Was that a thing that they did when she got resurrected after the... What are those people in the bubble, in that little bubble world called? That I hate? One of my most hated comics. What's the world, the people in that bubble where time goes... where she died. But she didn't die, and then Talon came. Where were they stuck?
The world.
But what are those people called?
The vault.
The Vault. Thank
The
you.
children of the vault.
Children of the Vault. So I'm saying when she got resurrected from after the Children of the Vault thing, you really were giving me the side eye. You're like, what the fuck?
I was
are
like,
you
what the...
talking about?
No, but I was more... I was giving myself the side eye. I'm like, why can't you think of what he's talking about? I'm pretty sure she didn't have adamantium before that, right? I don't...
But I mean, did they say in the
fucking
comic
know.
that when she was resurrected that they put the adamantium?
Yeah, Proteus was like, I did a little tweak.
Oh my god. Can you hear my air conditioning that just turned on?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so back to the My Hero Academia and X-Men equivalents. Froppy is totally the Nightcrawler. Honestly, I would give Cyclops to Tenya Ida. Yayu Rosa is absolutely Jean Grey. What else? There's some really... Oh, Red Riot is Colossus. We also love Bakugo as our Wolverine. Am I right? Okay.
All right. So, it's just whatever. I'm done talking about it.
Okay. Let's talk about Pahonix.
The fact that
Number
they're
8.
like trying to almost set up this Adani character to have the Phoenix power too, I'm like, I don't give a shit about this character.
No.
And and it's all like kind of like, and then so what's the bad guy's name again that she's...
Pericles.
She's kind of with him and kind of on his side, but also
So
the
weird.
Phoenix is making her want to
It's
fight
abusive.
him. But then meanwhile, Jean Grey is in a cocoon battling herself and the Dark Phoenix and trying to like figure out who she is.
Again.
They do. This is where it's like they do a fucking costume change.
They do a costume change.
A new costume change.
She has a
fire
helmet.
hair.
That's exactly what Phoenix needs, is a helmet.
A helmet with fire hair.
A helmet.
And it's black and yellow.
She's giving bathing cap with hair coming out the back, like Acacia forgot. So this basically is Jean is like, instead of othering Dark Phoenix, I need to embrace Dark Phoenix and use that side for good. At least this one had X-Men in it.
But fake X-Men.
Fake X-Men.
End this book.
End my misery.
Have her go back to the X-Men and deal with her shit with Cyclops. Or kill Cyclops and have her come back all pissed. Do something.
Do you know what? Here's how I want to review.
I don't want Cyclops.
Don't kill Cyclops. Here's how I want to review this book and a few others moving forward. Like maybe X-Force. Have you seen that the recent video from, I think they're a twink and a redhead on TikTok or on Insta about Punxsutawney Phil?
A twink and a redhead. A twink. Have you heard that song? A twink and a redhead.
Is that their song?
No, I don't know if it's if it's the people that, maybe they did it, but there's a famous TikTok that everybody would then do. It's like, there's no better combo than a twink, bump, 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 and a redhead.
Well, this is a twink and a redhead, and they're addressing Punxsutawney Phil. And like at the beginning, it's like, this video is about Punxsutawney Phil, and it just opens with like, hey, you fucking rat. Who the fuck died and made you Al fucking, like, and it is so fucking hilarious. I want to review this comic in that voice. So
Okay.
Phoenix number 9, I want us
Who the
to come
fuck
in
do you
with,
think
hey,
you are,
you fucking
Phoenix
rat.
number
You,
9?
right. That's where I'm
What the fuck
at.
is your problem?
Hey,
Yeah,
you
I'm done.
fucking. Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, this book should be called The University of Phoenix. That's how bad it is.
I don't even want to attend. Like, I'm not even attending. I'm gonna do this shit online. I'm gonna do this shit from my home.
I'm over it. Yeah,
I
it's
am
bad.
over the University of Phoenix.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, let's go to Avengers 23, which I'm kind of living for.
See,
Living
this
for
is
it a
what
little
it's
bit.
About. It's just like good writing. It's just
It's
literally
just a
like
fun romp. Like, can we have a fun romp?
and a battle, and we have the Avengers. They're at what's his name? Jeff Goldblum. What's his name?
They're at the Game Masters, the
Game
Grandmasters.
Masters, and they need to steal something, which I.
They need to steal a thing for Kang, and who can keep track of like what the fuck Kang needs?
Yeah,
you know?
but Kang is trying to steal it. The
But
Avengers
Kang's
are
all,
trying to
like
take
another
it.
version of Kang is trying to steal it. He solicits the Black Cat to help him, which is great. She's great. And a fun romp ensues. Like, it's basically the Avengers running around a space casino trying to catch the Black Cat, and we love it.
And they're like, hey, who can join in with Kang? Who are some fun bad guys that they can battle? Excalibur's Technet.
They bring in Excalibur's Technet. They bring in the Technet with Gatecrasher.
And Scatterbrain and Body Bag and baby.
By the
What's
way,
what's the baby's name?
Oh God, what's that weird baby?
Joy Boy.
Joy Boy. Body Bag, by the way, referred to as a she, changed my whole life. Changed my whole
Love
world.
it.
No idea.
I didn't see China Doll, but
No, I love China Doll.
everything.
I know. Can't have it all.
But they were just such
So fun.
great characters.
What a great
and
surprise.
and I think they were introduced in a fun way that if you did not know who these characters were, you would still be like, oh, this is fun.
This is fun, but what a page reveal. Like, just to see Gatecrasher crashing through? Yes. That's what she do. It's in the name.
Fucking funny, exactly. And then it turns out Black Cat is only doing this because Kang promised to go back in time and have her dad help out.
Which I was so happy. So that was like, they finally catch up to Black Cat and Kang, and she's like, haha, this was a diversion. My dad has the real thing. And I was like, thank you, because when we opened the issue, I was like, wasn't she with her dad at the end of the last one? Like, wasn't it Kang, her, and her dad? And then there was no mention of the dad in this. But then at the end, he was the thing. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Super fun. It's super fun to have Storm on this team, which is why between Storm and Technet, Avengers number 23 belongs in our X-Men segment. Sorry, not sorry.
Yes, yeah. There's more X-Men stuff in here that we're talking about than non-X-Men stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just,
but yeah,
it's
this was
great.
the only book I really liked this week.
And
so
honestly, my heart of hearts really wishes that this is sort of the lead up to Black Cat joining the Avengers. I would like
that would be great. And I finally did read West Coast Avengers because I hadn't caught up on that, and I love that too.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, so the Avengers are just
Isn't
better than the
Firestar
X-Men
like
right
a fucking mess?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my God, girl. Angelica.
Did you see the previews for the next one where she's
No.
hooking up? She's hooking up with the one that's in jail.
Blue Bolt. Oh my God.
Yeah, Blue Bolt and her
Angelica.
going at it with their hatred of robots.
Angelica. Oh my God.
Well, is that it?
Well, I
guess that's it.
I
We
think that's
did
all
it.
she wrote. Yeah, we did it.
All right.
We did it, and we'll do it again. Again and again and again.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be in better spirits. I think the weight of the world is making me not get
sick.
better faster.
Yeah. Fun fact:
my immune system is just like giving up. I'm like, I need to get better. My immune system is like, for what?
For what? Have you watched the Nikki Glazer "Someday You're Gonna Die" special?
It's the best stand-up special I've seen in a very since Atsuko.
That was some.
my other favorite one. But it's so
that was some
fucking
dark
funny.
shit.
Oh my God!
About the end of life and the end of the world, and my God.
Oh, literally, where she was like, I can joke about suicide because I'm going to kill
gonna
myself someday. Like, that is just so brilliant. She's really, and I've watched earlier stand-up specials, and she isn't, it's like she's come into something.
Yeah.
In the past few years, she's tapped into something.
Yeah.
Because her Golden Globes
It was Masterclass.
I'm kind of like, you got it, baby. You're the new golden. Like, don't get anybody else.
It's you.
You keep doing it. Yeah, she was so fucking good.
Yeah. The other great Netflix special, since we're on the topic, that I just watched, and I've seen her live. I've seen her open for Matt Rogers. Is Liza Traeger. You have to watch. Like, Jeff and I were like doubled over with laughter during this whole thing.
Who
like,
is that?
Liza Traeger, Treyger. She's
Oh,
from Brooklyn.
I love her. Oh, wait, is it on Netflix?
Oh,
I follow her on TikTok. No, I follow her
girl,
on TikTok.
You are gonna
I follow
like
her on TikTok.
Watch
I
it.
love her. No, I'm gonna
watch it
this
right
'cause I
now.
love
Like
her. She has one of those voices because she has one of those voices that's just like
like I might watch it again and like laugh just as hard. Like it's so up our asses, up our alleys. Like it's so you and me.
No,
like,
she's on my TikTok follows, so she's always popping up with her fun little shit.
I love it.
And I've seen some of her podcast stuff is even fine. Did you see the one about how she has a beef with Chris Rock?
No.
She was doing this podcast with Caleb, I forget what his name is. The
Heron?
the heavier gay comic. And he's like, do you have beef with anyone? She's like, yeah, I have beef with Chris Rock. And he's like, how do you have beef with Chris Rock? She's like, well, I was like doing a show and I was like in the show, but then everyone came out and we were all talking. And then he started defending Mike Pence and I didn't like that. And I was just like, yeah, well, you cheated on your wife. So why should we believe anything you have to say? And she's like, and after that, I've heard around that he says that I'm his least favorite comic.
Oh, what an honor. Chris Rock.
I love her. All right.
All right. We did it.
We did it. And, everybody, we need gayness because I'm at a point now where I'm like, ooh, it's because the Kennedy Center was just dismantled because of drag queens.
Please.
Because of drag queens.
Yeah.
So I might not have a job very long because I'm afraid an executive order is coming to make Drag Race illegal.
Yeah.
So all we have now is just these voices being like, hey, gay people exist and let's fight.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you want to help join us and you want to fight for the cause,
you
don't need to suck a dick.
No.
You just need to read a comic book.
Read a comic.
Because why, Brett?
Because if you read comics, well, that makes you queer.
Bye.
Okay, let's do a pose. Let's do a pose. A pose. And great. Okay. Oh, I have to pack. I have an 8 a.m. flight to Orlando. I'm going to Orlando.
I'll end the recording.
I'm going to Orlando for work.